Backstage tensions in WWE are at an all-time high as Asuka sets her sights on Rhea Ripley, igniting a storm of emotion and conflict. Allies IYO Sky and Kairi Sane step in, pleading with Asuka to reconsider, but her determination burns hotter than ever. This isn't just about a match, it's about respect, pride, and legacy. The locker room watches in stunned silence as friendships and alliances are tested, and every word exchanged carries weight. With emotions running raw and stakes higher than ever, WWE fans are witnessing a dramatic backstage showdown that could reshape relationships and future storylines forever. Backstage chaos ignites. WWE Backstage has always been a crucible of tension, alliances, and unspoken rivalries. But tonight, the atmosphere was electric with a different kind of intensity. Asuka, one of the most respected and feared superstars in the company, was on the verge of making a decision that could alter not only her trajectory, but the dynamics of her faction. The focus was on Rhea Ripley, a rising force whose relentless drive had earned her respect and enmity throughout WWE. The cameras caught every flicker of emotion, every subtle glance, and every tense pause as this story began to unfold. Kairi Sane's plea. Kairi Sane stepped forward, her presence bringing both gravitas and warmth to the heated moment. She addressed Asuka directly, reminding her of the bond they shared, the history that had brought them together, and the reason they fought, not just for themselves, but for each other. "You are the reason we're here, the reason we stand together," Sane said, her voice both pleading and resolute. Sane's approach was designed to remind Asuka that strength didn't always manifest through confrontation. Sometimes it showed in restraint and unity. But Asuka, fueled by a fire that only she fully understood, was unmoved. The locker room watches. The surrounding locker room became an audience to this personal drama. Wrestlers and staff alike felt the intensity, sensing that this wasn't a typical disagreement, but a pivotal moment in faction dynamics. The energy in the room reflected the stakes. Asuka's choice could redefine relationships, challenge alliances, and reshape upcoming storylines. It was a quiet storm, one that hinted at the chaos to come if the conflict escalated further. The cameras captured glances of concern, surprise, and awe, highlighting just how powerful a single confrontation could be. The question of allegiance, with Sky and Sane sidelined by Asuka's determination, the narrative raised a critical question. Has Asuka broken from her closest allies? Or is this a calculated preparation for an inevitable clash with Rhea Ripley? The answer, at least in the moment, remained unclear. What was evident was that Asuka's mindset was resolute. She was willing to face the consequences of her actions, knowing that the path she had chosen could lead to both personal glory and strained relationships. Rising stakes with Rhea Ripley. At the center of this conflict stood Rhea Ripley, a wrestler whose prowess and determination had challenged the very foundations of WWE's established hierarchy. Asuka's decision to confront Ripley wasn't arbitrary. It was a direct response to the respect and recognition that Asuka felt had been withheld. The impending clash promised to be more than a typical feud. It was a battle of philosophies, of legacies, and of personal pride. Every backstage conversation, every heated exchange, set the stage for a confrontation that fans would be talking about for weeks. A study in character. This moment revealed the depth of Asuka's character in a way few on-screen moments ever could. She wasn't just a wrestler in pursuit of a victory. She was a complex individual, balancing loyalty, pride, and a relentless drive to assert herself. Her refusal to be swayed by allies showcased her independence, her ability to make hard decisions, and her willingness to face consequences head-on. It reminded fans that while wrestling matches are scripted, the emotional truths behind them resonate deeply. The role of allies. Sky and Sane's involvement highlighted another critical aspect: the importance of allies in wrestling, both in and out of storylines. Their attempts to intervene underscored the delicate balance between camaraderie and individual ambition. Sky's caution and Sane's heartfelt appeal offered perspective, showing that mentorship, friendship, and guidance still matter in a world often dominated by ego and spectacle. Their reactions also provided insight into the stakes of backstage relationships, how influence, persuasion, and loyalty interplay when decisions carry real consequences. Foreshadowing the clash, Asuka's confrontation with her allies wasn't just a moment of tension. It was a narrative device foreshadowing a larger battle. The locker room fallout, the emotional intensity, and the resolute stance of Asuka all pointed to an inevitable showdown with Rhea Ripley. Fans could sense the impending drama, understanding that every word exchanged, every objection raised, was setting the emotional stakes for an in-ring confrontation that would define future storylines and potentially reshape faction alignments. The psychological edge beyond the physical battles in the ring. This scenario highlighted the psychological dimension of professional wrestling. Asuka's determination, the pleas from Sky and Sane, and the reactions of the locker room all contributed to a layered narrative. It wasn't just about athleticism, it was about mind games, emotional endurance, and strategic decision-making. Asuka's resolve served as a reminder that in WWE, strength isn't just measured by victories, it's also measured by the ability to stand firm under pressure, to face opposition from allies and rivals alike. Fan reactions and speculation. The WWE fanbase, known for its passionate engagement, quickly absorbed every detail of this backstage drama. Social media platforms lit up with speculation, analysis, and debate. Fans dissected every interaction, every emotional cue, and every implication for upcoming shows. Implications for WWE storylines. The fallout from this backstage encounter had immediate implications for WWE programming. Writers and producers now had a wealth of material to explore, from the evolving dynamics between Asuka, Sky, and Sane to the looming feud with Rhea Ripley. The emotional authenticity of the confrontation provided a foundation for compelling storytelling, one that could resonate both on television and in live events. The tension wasn't manufactured, it felt lived in, real, and consequential, offering a rare glimpse into the human stakes behind the scripted spectacle. Asuka's legacy and leadership moments like these reinforce Asuka's legacy as more than just a wrestler. They highlight her role as a leader, a decision-maker, and a figure whose actions carry weight both in storyline and backstage. Her willingness to assert herself, even in the face of dissent from allies, showcased qualities of leadership that resonate beyond wrestling. It reminded fans and colleagues alike that Asuka's impact isn't limited to her in-ring achievements. It extends to how she shapes narratives, relationships, and the emotional fabric of WWE. Conclusion: a locker room on edge, Asuka's confrontation with IYO Sky and Kairi Sane left the WWE locker room charged with tension, uncertainty, and anticipation. The alliances, the respect, and the rivalries were all in flux, making every backstage interaction feel like a pivotal moment. Whether Asuka's determination signifies a complete break from her allies or a tactical move in preparation for Rhea Ripley remains to be seen. What is clear is that WWE has once again demonstrated the power of backstage storytelling, reminding fans that the drama behind the scenes can be just as compelling as what unfolds in the ring.